Yes, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the GavGoesIn podcast. So, guys, as Nxt Gen 50 that I've been doing. So it's the best 50 young players in world football right now, or that's rumored to be the best young 50 players in world football. If you guys have been checking out my my other streams, obviously I've done I think about five players already. So I've got another two to do. I'm gonna do one today, one tomorrow. So keep a check out on my playlists and my stream selector, so you guys can see what the players that I'm doing. So today we're gonna be doing a player that's been linked with Manchester United, Tottenham, Red Bull Leipzig, I believe as well, and Newcastle. For me, this is a player that I think is, immensely talented, and I think he'd fit in well at any of the, top 6, top 8 teams in the Premier League. And that's none other, guys, than Tyler Dibling from Southampton. Now, as we know, Southampton relegated, and what's been quoted for Tyler Dibling, I think his value might be probably about 50 million, probably, or something like that, from what I heard before. The fact that Southampton have been relegated, you would assume that that fee would be driven down a lot. I think if any team wants Tyler Dibling, I think this will be a deal that will be done, definitely with add-ons, in terms of Champions League, probably qualification, FA Cup's probably one, a certain amount of appearances. I reckon that could be the deal. So I reckon you can probably get Tyler Dibling for about 40 mil, 45 mil probably, with obviously including add-ons. For me, I'm a massive fan of him. When I first see him, funny enough, against Man United, when he was giving Dalot problems. I believe it was was it this season or last season? I think it was this season, actually. Yeah, it was early on this season, I think. Yeah, when Ten Hag was in charge. And I think immediately you could see what a talent he was, left-footed, playing from the right. Obviously can play as a 10 as well. So 10 and attacking midfielder right as his positions. And as I said, you can see the quality that the guy had, in terms of his touch, his technique, his decision-making as well. And for me, he's going to be a future England international as well. Now, as we know, that England squad is stacked, with wingers that are ahead of him. But I think if he does move to a top club in the Premier League, you'll see him get his international bow for me, And obviously, I think he's an England under-19 international at the moment. I'm not sure if he's played for the 21s yet, but for sure he's going to be someone that is going to be talked about in the future, And as I said, his technique, his touch, his dribbling, his strength on the ball as well. Obviously wears the low socks like Jack Grealish, as well. And for me, when I see a player like that, it just shows me that they've got the arrogance and the laid-back attitude of, today's going to be my day and I'm going to make things happen, And I think at a team like Man United need players like that right now in the current state the team is in. Players that can just take the game by the scruff of the neck and just produce something out of the ordinary. And I think someone like Tyler Dibling has that in abundance. Obviously English as well. So if it's for the quota as well for the English teams, he's definitely going to be someone that is going to be figuring into that. So yeah, I think for me, Can I see him in the Premier League this season? As I said, there's not been too much concrete interest in terms of bids coming in. I think Man United, obviously with Jason Wilcox as well, who's heavily linked to Tyler Dibling and him coming through. Obviously Wilcox formerly being at Southampton. Nothing's come forth at the moment, but I think if United don't get, so if I look at Dibling, is he the main target for right wing as a right 10? I think it'd be between him and as I said, Mbeumo at the moment. But I think You know, United, I think could do with him definitely, and I think he could be a deal that gets done maybe towards the end of the window when all the other business is done. You know, and as I said, I think he'd be a great addition to the squad. You know, only what, 19 years of age. You know, I've put down a couple of numbers for him. So 33 appearances in the Premier League with 2 goals. And again, someone of his ability, for me, should be getting more goals, more assists, you know, but playing in a struggling Southampton team, you know, it was always going to be an uphill task for someone like Dibling making his debut in the Premier League. But I think you can see from some of the performances he put in, you know, this is a player that is destined to go right to the very top and destined to play for one of the best teams in the Premier League, even at a struggling Southampton side. You know, obviously made his debut at 18, obviously this season. You know, and as I said, he can play as a 10, as a right winger, you know, and where can I see him fitting into this team? As I said, in this 3 at the back, you know, the only position obviously he can play, he should be playing is the right 10, you know, left-footed, inverted, you know. I think the right wing back with his skill set, you know, he could possibly play there, but yeah, I think someone like him does need to be playing as a right 10. But again, he's more of a club signing for me, Tyler Dibling, because he's someone that can play under multiple managers and in a different system. So again, as you guys know, the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3 is what I want to see. And if you're playing a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, Dibling can play as the right winger or as a 10. So he covers both of them positions in a different formation. So yeah, he's more of a club signing rather than a signing for the manager. So I think that's why he'll come in, because I think United need to be making more signings like this. You know, not making signings for the manager, making signings for the club, so they can be used in different systems, different formations. Because I don't believe Man United going forwards want to be playing with this 3 at the back. I think it's only a 3 at the back if Amorim remains. But if Amorim doesn't do a good job start of the season, then, as I said, players like Dibling, players like Cunha, who's coming as well, you know, there'll be signings for the club where they can play for different managers and in different formations, as I said, you know. But yeah, guys, only a quick one on Tyler Dibling. As I said, someone that I want United to pursue. Obviously, there's been links with other players in that position, but I do think he will be a shrewd signing. You know, if Man United have money to play with, if they get all their main business done, you know, why not go for a Tyler Dibling? You know, because Man United need to be adding pure quality to their squad, and he's someone that will fit into there with no problem for me. You know, and as I said, future England international, and once he does that, you know, I think the sky's the limit for someone like Tyler Dibling. I do think he can go from strength to strength, and can I see him becoming one of the best players in the Premier League in Europe? I can. If he's under the right manager, you know, and he's nurtured the right way, which I have no doubt that he will be. I think easily, yeah, he can become one of the best players in the league for sure, you know. If it isn't Man United, as I said, I can see a Tottenham. I can see why Newcastle will be interested. You know, I think Mbeumo's ideal for Newcastle, you know, but Newcastle will be looking for a right winger that's left-footed. You know, I've mentioned the likes of Nicholas Kuhn from Celtic, and Tyler Dibling would be a great one. But I think it's obvious that Newcastle want a right winger that's left-footed. As I said, Mbeumo, Kudus, they're the ideal ones. But for different reasons, you know, they might not be gettable for them. But for me, Tyler Dibling in that conversation, you know, he can go and play for Newcastle. And as I said, that's only going to enhance his international prospects anyway. So, yeah, I do think he's going to be a very good player, whichever team he ends up at. But guys, big up yourselves. Hope you guys like the content. You know, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel at GavGoesIn. And let me know what you think of Tyler Dibling. Do you think Tyler Dibling should be a definite signing for Man United? Or can you see him going elsewhere? As I said, let me know in the comments after the stream has ended. Big up yourselves, and I'll catch you in a bit.